Hey friends, it's Walter, and I am here with my first video for STAMPlorations and my new subscription kit for the month of August. And just as a reminder, I am an ambassador to STAMPlorations for their paper product subscription. And that entitles me to choose 4 paper products of my liking for the month. It can be any 4, and they have so many to choose from. And you save versus buying them individually. So you can go to www.stamplorations.com for further information on the subscription. And without further ado, I'm going to go over the products that I received for this month. The first product is the Ethereal Faces card fronts, and these card fronts are amazing. They are 4 inches by 5.25 inches in size. And you get 2 of each of these 4 designs, so 8 card fronts in total, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at the detail and the color and the florals. She's beautiful. So pretty. I absolutely love these. And these card fronts make card making just so incredibly easy. For my projects this month, I'm doing one that is a little bit more involved, but still pretty darn easy with the STAMPlorations products. And another one that is really more of a quick and simple card using these, that the combination of these products that I think you'll be amazed at how they all come together into a beautiful design. The second product is the Floral Parade Ephemeral Cutouts, and there are 3 sheets of 3 designs, and so you get a total of 9 sheets of these ephemera. And these are all beautiful florals. Now, you can certainly fussy cut these out, but you could also, quite honestly, with that beautiful paper that's behind them, you could use that as background paper too. So really you have your choice, but you can see the beautiful florals there. These are a little bit larger in size, and then you have a nice variety here of vases and pails and a pitcher, but just beautiful florals. So those are a lot of fun. I then have the Carpe Diem Tiles, and these are they're ephemera tiles, but each one of them has a sentiment. That's the word I'm trying to think of, sentiment on them. And so you get 6 of these, and you can use it as a whole panel. You can cut them up. And the sentiments are: you just shine, be beautiful. I love that one. It's your day, amazing you, well done you, and Carpe Diem. So these are great. And then last but certainly not least, I chose the Vintage Camera Ephemera. And you get a bunch of cameras. Some are colored. There's a colored Polaroid. Some are not colored, and you can choose to color them in if you'd like to. But there are several camera designs, and as I mentioned, they come both colored and uncolored. So you get to color them if you want, or you can simply use the ones that that are already colored. So these are fabulous. So they're a lot of fun. So let's get into what I have designed for my first card for the month. I am going to walk you through making a collage sheet using these items that I am then going to put through an embossing folder, and it's a brick embossing folder. So what my inspiration for this card is going to be, or really was, a graffiti wall, like graffiti on a brick wall. And so I'm going to be putting all of it through, and adding a little bit of some color, and you'll see what I end up doing. But I think it's a lot of fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So here we go. I began by fussy cutting my ethereal face image from the card front. Normally, I would like to incorporate the entire card front into a design since everything is so beautiful, but I wanted to focus on just the face and the florals around because the inspiration of a painted wall mural, it looked so artistic to me that it looked like you would find it on an urban wall somewhere, especially in the Boston area where I live. I then chose the floral ephemera that I wanted to have in the background and fussy cut that out. These are really simple to fussy cut if you're not big on fussy cutting, because you just have to follow around the white area that is included around each of these objects. Super simple. I already had my camera ephemera and then chose my Carpe Diem tile. I then played around with layouts, decided how I wanted things to look, and was ready to get started with creating. I used collage medium to adhere everything down to an A2 sized piece of 65-pound white cardstock. I went with 65-pound because it's very light, and because some of these pieces, like the face and the camera ephemera and the Carpe Diem tile are they're a little bit of a thicker cardstock, and so I wanted a lighter cardstock behind so that they wouldn't get too much resistance going through the embossing folder I'm going to use. Once everything was glued into place, I used my hair dryer that I used for crafting only, because if you know me and know I don't need to use it for hair, and dried the panel. Everything was nice. That was just me checking it over. And I then loaded it into my brick embossing folder and put it through my die cut machine. I ran it back and forth twice. And here's the reveal. Look at that beautiful texture of the bricks and the mortar. I just love it. I then applied a light coat of Lost Shadow Distress ink, put on a little bit of the hickory smoke, but then decided I wanted it to blend together easily, so I adhered some ink down onto my glass mat and did the baby wipe method of application by just using a baby wipe to pick up that ink and kind of press and rub and really get it to look like a wall. I used several colors to do this. I generally use antique linen, lost shadow, weathered wood, and a little bit of hickory smoke whenever I'm creating a brick wall, because I think those colors really lend themselves well to the overall design. Really happy with how that color turned out. I used a little bit of white spray ink and applied it manually with the nozzle. And I did that around the two ephemera pieces to kind of get that kind of like white spray paint look, and then splattered as well and dried it with the hair dryer. Once I was sure everything was dry, I went ahead and put some double-sided tape onto the back of that panel and stuck it down to my A2 card base. I want to make sure there's a good amount of tape because there's so much texture in the card. I wanted everything to stick down. And once I was happy with that, I put another layer of collage medium over it to seal everything and make sure that nothing would lift up off the panel. I knew that the first coating really stuck things down, but this is just kind of insurance that it's definitely down there. And does, even though it's matte, it does give it a nice glazed look. I used the brush and made sure that I got into every nook and cranny. I once again grabbed the hairdryer and just dried that to quicken up the process and make sure that everything was set. And then finally, I went around the card with some of that black soot ink directly from the pad onto the edges, just to rough it up and grunge it up. Put some glue dots down and applied some really pretty clear crystals, and the design is complete. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I hope that you enjoy it. Hopefully it also inspires you to create something similar on your own. Thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. And make sure that you go out and check out STAMPlorations.com and all of their fabulous paper products.